And welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do the last part of our topic plant kingdom, which is angiosperms. So this will be part 4. I hope that you must have seen all the 3 parts and alternation of generations in order to understand this chapter in a proper way. So, unlike gymnosperms, where the ovules are naked, in angiosperms, the pollen grains and the ovules are developed in specialized structures called flowers. And in angiosperms, the seeds are enclosed in fruits. And the angiosperms range in size from smallest wolffia to tall trees of eucalyptus over 100 meters. So this one line is very much important for you to know, because angiosperms you don't have any examples. Okay, angiosperm is the common example. Okay, angiosperm also provides us with food, fodder, fuel and medicines. Okay, and it is divided into dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Okay, over here in this paragraph you are given about the dicotyledon and monocotyledon, but I have told you this thing using this T diagram for the better understanding. So let's begin. So first of all, see, di means two. So dicotyledons have two cotyledons and monocotyledons have only one cotyledon. The dicotyledon have reticulate venations. See, what do you mean by reticulate venations? See, this is a leaf. These are the veins of the leaves. Okay, and when the veins or the lines of the leaves are arranged in an unsystematic manner, it is called as reticulate venation. Here I have written the definition also. When the veins of leaves are arranged in any form forming a web, it is what we say is reticulate venation. And your monocotyledons have parallel venations, means the leaves have parallel veins such like this. Okay, then dicotyledons have tetramerous or pentamerous flowers, means they have 4 to 5 flowers in each of the floral whorls. So see, this is a floral whorl and it will have 4 to 5 flowers, whereas in monocotyledons there are only trimerous flowers in each floral whorls, means only 3 flowers. Okay, only 3 flowers. Okay, so this is the difference. Then we have about the male sex organ, which is the stamen. So let me show you a stamen. Okay, this is a stamen and it has a long tube called as filament and an anther. Okay, anther has the pollen grains. Pollen grains can be called as the male gametes. Okay, each stamen consists of a filament and anther. I've told you about it. Now this line is very important. Just a minute here. The pollen grains within the anther, the pollen mother cell divides by meiosis to produce microspores, which matures into pollen grains. So see, how you have to remember it, that the pollen mother cell divides by meiosis to produce microspores. These two words are way too important. Okay, meiosis and microspores. See, in in your ovules, which are your female gametes, the ovules also divide by meiosis, but they form megaspores. See here it is written, but over here in your males it is microspores. Okay, now let's see about the females. The female sex organ is pistil. Let me show you. Okay, this is a pistil. Okay, this is stigma, this is style, this is ovary. Ovary has ovules. Okay. Generally, each ovule has megaspore mother cell, and this undergoes meiosis and forms 4 haploid megaspores. 3 of them degenerate. Degenerate means they decline, or they get worse, or they just die. Basically, they are of no use. Okay, and one is left, which forms the embryo sac. Now let's see what does this embryo sac has. So I've written on the sticky note. Each embryo sac has 3-celled egg apparatus. It has one egg cell. This egg cell fuses with the male what we call is pollen grain and forms zygote. It has two synergids. Synergids, they help the pollen tube in the guidance and function. All these 3 things, see, synergids, antipodal cells, and polar nuclei, they help this egg cell for the process of fusion. So it has 2 synergids, it has 3 antipodal cells. Okay, they are also a type of cell. You just don't need to study each of them in detail. And it has 2 polar nuclei. What is the work of polar nuclei? The polar nuclei fuses to produce diploid secondary nucleus. Okay, diploid secondary nucleus. Okay, then pollination की definition. This is the best definition which I've written over here, that the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of pistil is called as pollination. Anther is a part of the male sex organ. Stigma is a part of a female sex organ, which is pistil. And male का sex organ क्या है? Stamen. And anther is a part of it. Now, the pollen grains germinate on stigma, resulting. Now, what happens is that the pollen grains, they are carried away by wind or various agencies to the stigma of the pistil. Now, when they reach the stigma, see, let me draw the diagram for. Yes, so by wind or various agencies, they reach the stigma. This upper portion is the stigma, this middle one is style, and this is the ovary. Okay, so when they reach this stigma, the pollen grains, they form a tube-like structure. Form a tube, and they go, and this tube goes to the ovary, like so. And pollen grains are transferred from this tube and they reach the ovary. Okay, and the fusion takes place in your ovary. I hope it is clear that this is, oh my god. So, from the tube formed by the pollen grain on the stigma, it goes from this tube and it reaches the ovary, and the fusion process takes place. Now, what happens? 2 male gametes are discharged. Means 2 male gametes enter the ovary. 1 male gamete fuses with the egg cell, which is the female gamete. 1 male gamete fuses with the egg cell, which is your female gamete, and forms zygote. Other male gamete fuses with the diploid secondary nucleus. What is this diploid secondary nucleus? This. And it forms triploid secondary nucleus. Diploid produce triploid primary endosperm nucleus, which is PEN. Triploid primary endosperm nucleus. And so you can see that there are 2 fertilizations happening. It is called as double fertilizations. Why? Because 2 fusions are happening. One is syngamy. What is syngamy? Fusion of male and female gamete to form zygote. And one is the triple fusion. When the diploid secondary nucleus is fusing with pollen grain and forming triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Okay. So this is called as double fertilization. The zygote develops into embryo, which will have either one or two cotyledons, and the pen will develop into an endosperm. Endosperm is also a part of the angiosperm, which stores food in the seeds and it surrounds the embryo. It protects the embryo and gives nourishment to the embryo. Okay. And the synregates and antipodals degenerate after fertilization. Degenerate means they get worse, they get declined, or they die. What others? See, the four things we studied in a case of your egg apparatus, the egg cell. This egg cell fuses with male gamete, forms zygote. This also fuses with male gamete and forms your pen, that is triploid primary endosperm nucleus. And these two degenerate, that is die. So let's see the life cycle of angiosperm. See, this egg, okay, this egg, just, yes, so from this ovary, okay, this diagram is your pistil, okay, it has stigma style ovary, okay, now it forms ovule through megasporangium. Megaspore is the mother cells and these are the megasporangiums. Okay, these will form your egg, which will fuse with the male gametophyte, form a zygote, which will then form an embryo, which will form a sporophyte, that is your plant. Then the sporophyte will have this pistil, okay, and it will also have, this is your male sex organ, which is stamen. Stamen is going to form microsporangium, okay, through which microspores will be formed, and this pollen grain, which will have male gametophytes, and these two gametes, see, we have seen that the two male gametes go to the ovary, one fuses with egg and one fuses with your polar nucleus. So this will again fuse with the egg, again a zygote will be formed, again embryo, again sporophyte, and this cycle will be continued. Okay, so this is the thing of angiosperm. Now one thing I forgot, that behind this sticky note there are two images. So these are the two images of dicotyledon and monocotyledon. So thank you so much. Please like the video. Bye.